Discover how a heartwarming gesture to a poor student uncovered an incredible life-changing bond. In the small town of Riverdale, Ohio, dreams often felt like distant stars just out of reach. For Jake, a high school senior, his aspirations burned bright despite his family's struggles. Every evening, he would trade his textbooks for an apron, working long hours at the local diner just to scrape together some coins for college application fees. Each clink of the tip jar echoed a hope for a different future, a life far beyond the counter he stood behind. One rainy afternoon, the diner door swung open with a jingle, and in walked Sarah, a newcomer from the affluent side of town. She was unlike anyone Jake had ever seen, with her designer jeans and effortless confidence. As she sat down, Jake couldn't help but notice how her smile broke through the gray clouds outside. He took her order, and in that moment their worlds collided. Their friendship sparked quickly, fueled by giggles over greasy fries and passionate debates about what it really meant to live a fulfilled life. But as each shared moment grew more profound, whispers began to swirl in the diner, the kind of whispers that questioned the authenticity of their bond. Jake felt the weight of judgment pressing down on him. Was he just a charity case to Sarah? Did she secretly condescend to his humble background? Sarah, on the other hand, grappled with her own struggles. Life in her mansion was suffocating, filled with expectations she couldn't bear. The laughter and joy she experienced with Jake felt illicit, thrilling, and genuine. Yet, her wealthy friends warned her about mingling with the less fortunate. The divide between them was echoed in the scandalous conversations circulating around town. One evening, Jake, weary from a grueling shift, was stacking dishes when Sarah approached him, a determined look in her eyes. "I want to help you," she whispered, her voice warm like a spring breeze. A heavy silence enveloped the diner as she offered to cover his college application fees. Jake's heart raced, half flattered, half fearful. Was this real kindness or just a momentary lapse in judgment? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Undeterred by the mounting gossip, Jake and Sarah resolved to launch a project aimed at tackling social inequality in Riverdale. They envisioned turning a vacant lot into a community garden, where everyone could share resources and grow together. The project quickly took off, inspiring neighbors and bridging communal gaps. But hope was short-lived when a scandal erupted, accusing Jake of mismanaging funds. Dread gripped his heart like a vice. As accusations flew and Sarah faced the scrutiny of her peers, they both stood on shaky ground. The town's biases and preconceived notions threatened the very fabric of their bond. Would Jake's worthiness be judged based on his bank account or his heart? Could Sarah escape the chains of her privilege to support someone she truly cared for? A storm of doubts gathered in their minds, yet the fight for acceptance was just beginning. As they faced the turmoil ahead, the question lingered. Could they conquer not just their fears, but the weight of societal judgment together? With their dreams precariously balanced, the edge of hope and despair drew near. The future that sparkled so invitingly now shimmered with uncertainty. The next morning, Jake opened his laptop, the weight of negativity still clinging to him like a heavy cloak. The glowing screen seemed to mock him as he tried to search for ways to address the accusations that threatened to unravel everything he and Sarah had built together. With each click, he felt more isolated, convinced that the town would never see past the surface. He remembered Sarah's last few words, the determination in her voice lingering in his ears. There was an unyielding part of him that wanted to believe in the strength of their connection, but doubt wormed its way into his thoughts. Just as he was about to give in to despair, a message popped up on his screen. It was from Sarah. "Hey, meet me at the park? Think we should talk." The sun was just starting to break through the clouds when Jake arrived. He found her sitting on a bench, her hands resting on her knees, a look of deep contemplation etched across her face. As he approached, the slightest hint of a smile brightened her features. Yet Jake couldn't shake the feeling that their world was collapsing around them. "Hey," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Hey." Sarah's smile turned more serious. "I heard the news. I can't believe they would say those things about you." Jake sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. I knew it would happen. Everyone thinks they know me just because of where I work. They don't see who I am, or what I'm trying to do. I see you, Jake, she said softly, locking her gaze onto his. We can't let them stop us. The community garden. It's too important. Her words ignited a flicker of hope. But they'll never take me seriously now, Jake replied, frustration simmering beneath his breath. They see a poor kid trying to do good and all they do is judge. Then let us prove them wrong. Sarah's voice rose with a fierce passion. We can organize a meeting. Bring everyone together. Let us show them what we're building, not just for us but for the whole town. Jake couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement at her suggestion. The thought of confronting the community, of standing up against the bias, was intoxicating. You really think we can turn this around? Sarah nodded, determination radiating from her. We have to try. If we can get people to see that this isn't about me or you, but about all of us, about making Riverdale a better place, then we can change their minds. As they talked, Jake's heart began to swell with renewed purpose. It wasn't merely about proving the haters wrong. It was about uniting their community with a cause that mattered. So, we start with a community meeting? He suggested, his voice gaining strength. Absolutely. And we'll work on getting the media involved. If we can get local news in to cover it, people will have to listen. The more they spoke, the louder the rhythm of hope pulsed between them. They were lost in brainstorming when Sarah's phone buzzed. She glanced down at the screen, her expression shifting to concern. It's my parents, they want me home, she said reluctantly, casting a glance towards the direction of her luxurious but lonely home. Jake felt a pang in his chest. Each interaction with her family reminded him of how far apart their worlds still felt, despite their growing bond. With their project looming ahead, would they really be able to withstand the pressure that came with their different backgrounds? Go, he said softly. We'll talk more later. As Sarah stood to leave, Jake took a step toward her. You believe we can make this work, right? Make them see us? I do, she replied, her voice steady, yet layered with uncertainty. But actions speak louder than words. It's going to take effort and courage. Jake nodded, feeling the weight of what lay ahead. When she turned to walk away, he felt that flicker of hope extinguish slightly. Just then, a thought hit him like a lightning bolt. Wait, he called out, capturing her attention. What if we recorded a video message to share our vision for the garden? It could lay the groundwork before the meeting. A spark ignited in her eyes. That's brilliant. With their spirits lifted, they left the park, steeling themselves for the battle ahead to claim their place in the town they wanted to change. Little did they know, the challenges ahead weren't just from the community. Something more personal and more surprising was about to shake their bond more than ever before. What would happen when secrets began to unravel? Would their bond withstand the trials looming closer? Jake sat in his living room, the sunlight streaming in through the window, but it did little to warm his heart. He replayed Sarah's words in his mind, actions speak louder than words, and felt an overwhelming sense of urgency. They had decided to shoot the video that day, but he was unsure how to begin. His hands shook as he adjusted the camera, focused on the clear, bright lens, but his thoughts were jumbling like marbles in a bag. Just be yourself, he muttered aloud, trying to reassure himself. He took a deep breath and pressed record. Hi, I'm Jake, he said, his voice steadier than he felt. I want to talk about something that's really close to my heart. He hesitated, glancing out the window. Birds chirped outside, a sweet melody that seemed to mock his turmoil. It's about the community garden we're starting to bring us all together. The words flowed more easily after that. He spoke about the garden's purpose, how it wasn't just about growing food, but about nurturing relationships and community. He imagined people strolling through, smiles on their faces, sharing conversations over fresh vegetables. Jake could see it in his mind, a beautiful mosaic of everyone coming together, but deep down he felt a dark cloud lurking. After finishing the recording, he felt a surge of accomplishment. But his joy was short-lived. As he set everything aside, his phone buzzed with yet another message. When he saw that it was from Sarah, he felt a flutter of excitement that quickly turned into apprehension. Was she okay? Hey, can we talk? I need to share something important, the message read. His heart raced. He wondered if something had happened with her family. He quickly typed back, of course. Where do you want to meet? Back at the park? I'll be there soon. A knot tightened in his stomach as he made his way back to the park. The serene surroundings felt heavy with anticipation. As he approached their usual bench, he found Sarah already waiting, her expression a mix of excitement and anxiety. Jake, she greeted but quickly caught herself. I'm sorry for dropping this on you, but I found something out about my dad. What about your dad? His pulse quickened. The last thing he wanted was to hear more about family drama, but he could sense this was different. She took a deep breath, visibly struggling to find her words. He has been involved with some big decisions regarding the town and the garden. He doesn't support it. Jake's heart sank. He felt the hope they had built together falter. What do you mean? He thinks it's a waste of money and resources, and he told me if I'm involved he'll cut ties. I don't want to choose, but this is huge. So, you're saying he doesn't want you helping me? Jake asked, feeling the walls closing in. I'm not sure he knows it's us, she confessed, looking down. But he has the power to influence a lot of people, and I can't abandon you or everything we're fighting for. Jake stepped closer, meeting her gaze. Sarah, you don't have to choose me over your family. It's not that simple, she insisted. If I want to protect this garden, I need to be there, yet I don't want to piss him off. I don't know how to move forward. Her voice broke and Jake felt that familiar tug in his heart, an ache he couldn't shake. Would they really be able to pull through when the odds were stacked against them? Whatever you decide, I'm here, he said quietly. We'll figure it out together. Promise. Just as they were about to discuss their next steps, a figure came into view at the park entrance. Jake squinted, trying to make them out, and his stomach dropped as he realized who it was. Sarah's dad, striding with purpose toward them. Sarah, he shouted from a distance. What are you doing here with him? Jake's mind raced. Would this confrontation shatter everything they had built? Did they even stand a chance against the weight of her father's disapproval? As Sarah's face drained of color, Jake knew one thing. They were about to face an unexpected storm, and it would test not only their project but their relationship as well. How would they navigate this moment? Would they be able to withstand the pressure, or would it push them further apart than they imagined? Before Sarah could form a response, her father reached them, his face a picture of discontent. Jake stood frozen for a moment, unsure if he should make his presence known or slip away into the background. The tension wrapped around them like a tight fist. Dad, Sarah said, her voice trembling. You don't understand. I understand plenty. He cut in, glaring at Jake as if he were the source of all his troubles. I've seen this kid around. You think he's good for you? He's just going to pull you into some pointless project. A rush of anger surged through Jake. He felt his fists clench at his sides. We're trying to create something positive for the community, he said, forcing his voice to stay calm. Something that can help people come together. It's not pointless. See? Her father snapped. That's the problem. You have no clue what you're talking about. You don't know the real stakes here, Jake. You don't understand how fragile support can be. You're playing with fire. Mr. Lawson, I respect your opinion, but this is bigger than you think, Jake replied, feeling a mixture of frustration and determination. It's about bringing hope to our community. The older man scoffed. Hope? You kids love throwing that word around. Hope doesn't pay the bills or feed the hungry. I won't let you mislead my daughter into thinking this is a noble cause. You need to focus on the future, your future, not chasing fantasies in a garden. Jake's heart pounded. Sarah stood between them, her eyes darting back and forth, panic rising. She looked so small under the weight of her father's words. Dad, please, she pleaded, tears welling up. I'm not choosing between you and the garden. I want to do both. We can make a difference together. Together? Her father sneered. You honestly believe this boy has your best interests at heart? He'll drag you down. Jake felt something crack inside him. He took a step forward. I hear about Sarah. I'm not trying to drag her anywhere. We're building a community. People like you shut it down, that will hurt us all. Enough. Mr. Lawson roared, startling both Jake and Sarah. You don't get to speak to me like that. You don't belong here. If you're going to be involved with my daughter in any capacity, then you can say goodbye to your little garden dreams. With each word, Jake felt the weight of hopelessness begin to crush him. He looked at Sarah, who was visibly trembling, caught in the crossfire of loyalties. His heart ached to protect her, yet he knew he couldn't fight her father's battles for her. Dad, please stop. You're not listening to me. Sarah's voice cracked, and Jake thought he saw the tears spill over her lashes. This is not just about you or about Jake. It's about helping our community. It's about doing something good. Mr. Lawson's face hardened. Stay away from him, Sarah. If you continue with this nonsense, you're making a choice about where your loyalty lies. This isn't just for fun. It's going to ruin my reputation and yours too. Dad, her voice faltered, the resolve she had moments ago fading in the face of her father's ultimatum. Jake felt the sense of defeat fill the air. What's it going to be? He asked, his voice low but charged with emotion. Are you going to follow your heart, or let him control your choices? The silence enveloped them thick and raw. Sarah's eyes locked onto Jake, anguish battling with determination. Her father waited, measuring their connection against the weight of his own expectations. In that charged moment, Jake realized they were standing at a crossroad. Each path they could take had far-reaching consequences. Would Sarah stand beside him, or would she retreat into safety, guided by her father's voice? As uncertainty hung heavy in the air, Sarah finally took a breath, her chin rising slightly. Jake's heart raced in anticipation. There was a courage blooming within her, but would it be enough to push through her father's oppressive force? Dad, I'm tired of being scared, she said, and Jake could hear a tremor of defiance in her voice. I need to choose my own path even if it's hard. Just then, the sharp beep of a horn shattered the tension, and a delivery truck pulled up, blocking their view. Jake felt a brief flicker of hope. What would Sarah's answer be when the dust settled? Would her father's influence hold her back? Or would she step into the light and embrace the change they both craved? The horn of the delivery truck honked again, drowning out the heavy silence that hung in the air. Sarah flinched, her shoulders stiffening, but Jake couldn't pull his gaze away from her face. The moment felt infinite, like time had stopped just for them. Dad, just give me a chance. Sarah's voice was louder now, gaining a note of desperation that startled even her. I can't keep pretending life is just about what you want. I need to find my own purpose. Mr. Lawson's expression twisted. There was a flicker of confusion, then anger fighting for dominance. And you think getting involved with him will do that? You're better than this, Sarah. His voice was harsh, filled with layers of disappointment. Then Sarah turned fully toward Jake, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears yet also burning with a fire he'd never seen before. Jake, I want to show you something. He felt a rush of uncertainty. Right now? He asked, glancing at Mr. Lawson, who looked ready to explode. Yes, right now. There was a fierce resolve in her voice that made Jake's heart leap. She turned back to her father. I'm still going to honor what we talked about. This isn't just a whim. If you want to keep shutting me down, then I'll have to find my own way. Jake watched her take a step toward the delivery truck. She didn't glance back, her focus fixed ahead. The truck driver stepped out, his bulk blocking their view of the road, but Sarah's determined stride pulled Jake along like a magnet. They moved toward the back of the truck, painted with the mural of a garden blooming across it, vibrant and alive. What do you want to show me? Jake asked, his voice softer now, mingled with curiosity and awe. I need you to see this. She pushed through the sounds of unloading boxes and crates until they reached a small container filled with supplies. Garden tools, soil bags and seedlings marked for a community center a few blocks away. It's part of a program to help community gardens thrive. I've been trying to get them for our project. Her voice softened as she pointed at the equipment. Jake's breath caught in his throat. You did this? You applied for grants? Yes, but I didn't want to tell my dad because I knew he'd freak out. Her eyes sparkled with excitement, a welcome shift in the palpable tension. But then she sighed. Now I'm not sure I can follow through if he doesn't support me. Jake felt hope bubbling inside him. Sarah, this is incredible. We can use this to show your dad that it's not just a dream. It's already happening. He couldn't help but smile, imagining the possibilities. But Sarah's vivacity dimmed slightly. But my dad, he never sees the good in what we can achieve. He won't ever want to see that we can actually make a change. Jake felt the weight of her words. It wasn't just about herbs and soil. It was about breaking free from the confines of expectation. What if we go to him together? Show him what we're working on. Show him the impact? She hesitated, looking back toward where her father stood, the shadows of doubt swirling back into her gaze. But what if he refuses to listen? What if it's all for nothing? Jake reached for her hand, feeling electric warmth course through him. We can't know until we try. And if this means something to you, it means something to me too. Taking a deep breath, Sarah slowly nodded, the fire rekindling in her eyes. Okay, let us do it. Before they could move, the driver approached them, wiping his forehead with a bandana. Hey you two. These supplies are yours, right? The center's expecting you. Suddenly, the weight of the moment shifted. There was excitement brewing, a whirlwind of hope dancing on the horizon. This was their chance, and Jake could see it in Sarah's face too. But just as they gathered their resolve, the delivery truck driver's radio crackled to life. Hey guys, we got a situation. We need someone to help out. One of the centers is short-staffed for their community event today. Jake exchanged a look with Sarah. The air thickened with possibility. What would this event mean for them? Could it be the catalyst they needed to demonstrate their resolve? Are we in? Jake asked, his heart racing again, anticipation surging through him. Absolutely, Sarah replied, determination painted across her features, a smile breaking through. The moment felt transformative, but where would this newfound courage lead them? As they moved back toward the chaotic flow of the delivery, a flicker of doubt crept in. Would they truly be able to bridge the gap between her father's expectations and their shared dream? Would the community event become their powerful turning point, or just another hurdle to overcome? As Jake and Sarah stepped away from the truck, adrenaline coursed through them. The energy of the moment felt electric, a stark contrast to the earlier tension. The bustling scene around them transformed into a chaotic blur, the urgency sparking something deep inside both of them. They were on the brink of sowing seeds not just in the soil but in their lives. Okay, what do we do first? Jake asked, glancing over the supplies that had begun to spill out of the delivery truck. Sarah looked at the bountiful stash of equipment, her excitement blending with anxiety. We need to set up the station at the center. It's where the community event is taking place. They'll need our help to get everything ready. Let us go. Jake urged, spirit soaring. He could sense that this was more than just a chance to work together. It was a step towards proving to Mr. Lawson that they could create something real. They hopped into the passenger seat of the delivery truck, the driver now settling in behind the wheel. Buckle up. It's a quick ride over, he said, slapping the steering wheel cheerfully before revving the engine. The city sped by like a movie reel, flickering through scenes of life, playgrounds filled with laughter, diners where conversations bubbled, and storefronts layered with colors promising treats and treasures. Sarah's head spun with thoughts. How could she convince her father of this vision? Clutching the supplies tightly, Jake turned to Sarah. You know, we're making a real difference today. Just think about it. Yes, she murmured, but doubt still lingered in her eyes. But my dad, what if he doesn't get it? What if he sees me as just this girl chasing a pipe dream? Perspective changes everything, Jake replied, his tone steady but encouraging. What if you show him how real this is? You're not doing this for anyone but yourself. Show him how much it matters. The truck rolled to a stop, its doors swinging open. The bustling event site opened up before them, a vibrant chaos of volunteers, colorful booths, and families setting up picnic areas. The air was thick with the smell of fresh-cut grass and barbecued food. There's our station, Sarah exclaimed, pointing to an empty space, eagerly awaited to be transformed into a blossom of color and community. They quickly organized the tools, setting up the seedlings in neat rows. As they worked side by side, laughter bubbled up between them, a refreshing release from the earlier tension. With each planting, Sarah's confidence grew, and so did Jake's admiration for her determination. Look at this one, Jake exclaimed, holding up a tiny sprout he'd just placed in the soil. We could name it after you, Sarah's miracle. He chuckled and she tossed her head back, laughing freely for the first time that day. That's perfect, she said, her earlier worries fading away. But don't forget to water it. Just then, as they turned toward the heart of the event to grab more supplies, Jake spotted Mr. Lawson across the field. His heart dropped into his stomach. He stood rigid, arms crossed, watching from a distance. Sarah, he whispered, concern washing over him. Your dad is here. Her smile vanished. No, What is he doing here? This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Jake felt the air change, heavy with anxiety. He watched Sarah's expression shift, dread creeping in. What would this mean for them? Could they truly prove their vision with her father so close? Just remember why you're here, he urged. Focus on the good you're doing. She hesitated, searching her heart. Then she swallowed hard and nodded. You're right. I can't let fear stop me now. As they made their way toward the gathering crowd, Jake's chest tightened. If they confronted Mr. Lawson now, would it shatter everything they worked so hard for? Or could it actually bridge a gap they never thought possible? Could today redefine their futures, or would it send them spiraling back to square one? With a deep breath, Sarah steeled herself as they approached the bustling crowd. The vibrant energy of the event contrasted sharply with the tight knot in her stomach, but she pushed through. Her father loomed close, a figure of authority in the midst of laughter and color. Just play it cool, Jake whispered, sensing her tension. Sarah nodded, gripping the edge of the table where they had set up their seedlings. The tiny green shoots seemed to whisper encouragement, urging her on. We've got this, she said softly, but her heart was racing. Hey, Sarah. A voice snapped her attention. It was Mia, a cheerful girl from school, bouncing over with a smile that lit up her face. You're really here doing this? Such a cool project. For a moment, the warmth of Mia's energy helped ease Sarah's anxiety. She smiled back, grateful for the distraction. Thanks, Mia. It's so exciting to see everyone come together like this. Jake felt a sense of relief wash over him too. He stepped forward, engaging with Mia while keeping an eye on Mr. Lawson. You're helping out too? Of course, she chimed, brushing hair from her face. I can't wait to see how the garden turns out. We need more flowers like that in our neighborhood. Their small chatter was a welcome break, but as Sarah glanced back toward her father, dread crept in again. He hadn't moved. His eyes were still fixed on them. Here we go, Jake muttered, less enthusiastic now as he caught the look on Sarah's face. As they maneuvered through the crowd, a loud cheer erupted nearby, drawing attention. Sarah turned to see a group of kids sprinting towards a small stage set up for performances. Laughter rang out, the kind that warmed the heart. But her focus drifted back to Mr. Lawson. His gaze was like a spotlight, making it difficult to breathe. Do you think he's disappointed in me? Sarah whispered. Jake shook his head fervently. No, he just might not understand yet. But we're going to show him. She took a deep breath and raised her chin. With every step they took, determination surged inside her. They reached him, and for the first time, she felt a flicker of hope mix with her anxiety. Dad, she started, her voice steady, fighting against the trembling. We're creating something really special here. Mr. Lawson didn't respond immediately. Instead, he surveyed the garden they had begun cultivating, rows of little seedlings thriving under bright sunlight. A testament to their hard work, their shared vision. Then unexpectedly he turned toward her. You call this special? The skepticism dripped from his tone. Yeah, I do, she replied, her heart pounding. We want to bring the community together. This garden represents hope. For everyone. And it matters to me. Jake stood silently beside her, feeling the gravity of the moment. He could sense the tension crackling, the air around them thick with uncertainty. Mr. Lawson crossed his arms tighter, and for a moment, Jake thought he felt the pull of defeat. But then something happened. A child wandered into their space, holding a vibrant paper flower, eyes alight and smiling. Look at my flower, the kid proclaimed, clearly proud of their creation. See, Dad? Sarah urged, her enthusiasm rising. This is the kind of joy we can spread. We're not just planting seeds, we're planting hope. Mr. Lawson's expression softened slightly, just for a moment. The busy noise of chatter, laughter, and the faint sounds of music filled the air, slowly wrapping around them like a blanket. Sarah felt a flicker of something shift within him, but was it enough? Jake squeezed her shoulder, an unspoken promise of support. It's okay if he doesn't get it right away, he murmured. We'll keep planting. But even as they stood there, waiting for Mr. Lawson's response, Sarah knew the real seed they were trying to plant wasn't just in the ground, it was in rebuilding trust and love with her father. Would her heartfelt plea take root, or would it wither under the weight of doubt? The pause felt eternal, like the world around them had come to a standstill. Sarah's heart thumped loudly in her chest, and she watched her father's expression closely, searching for any hint of understanding. Just when it seemed he might respond, a burst of laughter echoed from the nearby stage, drawing everyone's attention. Turning toward the sound, Sarah saw a little girl performing a dance, her twirls brightening the afternoon. The crowd cheered, and for a moment, the heaviness in the air dissipated. Even Mr. Lawson glanced over, his stern demeanor softening as he chuckled quietly at the innocent joy radiating from the stage. "See that?" Sarah said softly, gesturing to the child. "That's what it's all about. It's not just plants. It's about happiness, connection." Her voice caught something in her father, a glimpse of what could be if he let go of his worries. Mr. Lawson sighed, a sound heavy with unspoken thoughts. "It's just a garden," he murmured, but there was a hint of curiosity, a crack in his skepticism. "You're right," Jake jumped in quickly, "but it's a garden with a purpose. We're building something that can change the way people feel, bringing them together even in tough times." He nodded toward the surrounding crowd, an array of different faces blending into one community. "Isn't that worth something?" For a beat, Mr. Lawson studied them, and then, to Sarah's surprise, he turned back to the seedlings. She held her breath, desperately wishing he could see her vision, her dream for the community. A sudden gust of wind swept through the venue, causing a few small paper signs to flutter and tumble. Sarah instinctively reached out, holding her hand up to gather them before they blew away, her mind racing with frustration and resolve. "Dad, if you just give this a chance," she began, but before she could finish, Mr. Lawson held up his hand, a signal to wait. "Okay," he said slowly, his voice more contemplative than dismissive. "Show me what it can do." Hope ignited in Sarah's chest. "Really?" she asked, a smile creeping onto her face, hopeful like the first bloom of spring. "Yeah, fine. But I still don't get it," he replied, the skepticism still tinged in his tone, yet it was a step forward. "Yes." Jake's excitement burst forth, and he exchanged a quick glance with Sarah, who felt the swell of possibility rising like the seedlings around them. They could show him. Together they could turn this garden into not just a project but a beacon of change. With new energy surging within her, Sarah nodded toward the bustling crowd. "Let us start with a little help from some friends. We can gather them to volunteer. There's so much love out there waiting to bloom, just like these flowers." Just then Mia returned, a few children in tow, all eyes bright with curiosity and eager to join the effort. "What can we do?" She beamed, her enthusiasm infectious. Sarah felt laughter bubbling up, feeling lighter than she had all day. "You can help us plant these seedlings. Spread the word about the garden, every little bit counts." Mr. Lawson watched as the children eagerly began setting their own paper flowers on the table, each one a unique piece of art. Their laughter mingled with the crowded sounds of the event, a harmony Sarah realized she desperately needed. As she watched the scene unfold, Sarah couldn't help but think about the journey ahead. Laughter, trust, and hope were sprouting around her like wildflowers. But for every bloom that blossomed, there was a question lingering: could they really sustain this? Could they feed the roots of understanding and belief with just their hope and hard work? She turned to her father, his eyes now lightening, but a part of her remained anxious. The real journey had just begun. What if all their efforts faltered in the face of deeper issues? What if the seeds they planted weren't enough to bridge the divide between their hearts? With a spark of excitement thrumming in the air, Sarah grabbed a handful of seedlings, her fingers trembling with the thrill of anticipation. She could feel the presence of the children behind her, their bright faces eager, their giggles bubbling like a refreshing stream. It was a reminder. Every small effort counted, and maybe their garden could be the start of something big. "All right, everyone." Sarah clapped her hands, gathering the kids' attention. "Let us plant these seedlings together. Who can tell me what these flowers need to grow?" "I know," shouted a little boy with messy hair. "Sunshine and water." "That's right." Sarah beamed at him. "And a lot of love." She motioned for the children to form a circle around her, an unspoken bond forming as they clustered together. Jake knelt down beside her, showing the kids how to dig little holes in the soil, his enthusiasm infectious. "See, we're making space for these seedlings, just like how we make space for new friends in our lives." He grinned, his eyes sparkling with the possibility of connection. Mr. Lawson stood off to the side, arms crossed, watching as the children dug likely trenches in the soft earth. They were carefree, unlike the heavy thoughts that seemed to weigh down his shoulders. He tried to dismiss their joy, but it stirred something in him, a long-forgotten memory of a simpler time. "Dad," Sarah called, pulling him from his thoughts. "Why don't you come help us?" "Me?" He wanted to retort, but he found himself stepping forward nonetheless. The children looked up at him with innocent eyes, full of hope and expectation. He fidgeted with the collar of his shirt and relaxed his arms, feeling the weight of their energy. "I don't know about this," he said lightly, brushing away a hint of uncertainty. "What do I do?" "Just help us plant these." Mia cheered, tugging at his sleeve. "It's like magic." "That's right," Sarah encouraged. "You just need to believe." There was an undeniable magic in that moment. Mr. Lawson, usually so composed, found himself bending down, picking up a seedling and mirroring the children's actions. As they collectively buried the flowers and watered them with care, laughter erupted around them. Sarah felt warmth bloom within her, something she hadn't felt in a long time, a sense of unity. As they worked, other festival-goers began to take notice. A few adults approached, intrigued by the vibrant scene unfolding. They watched as the garden began to take shape, their interest piqued by the infectious happiness radiating from the makeshift team of old and young alike. "Can we help?" a woman asked, her brows creased with concern over the impressionable eyes around her. Sarah's heart raced. "Of course. We need all the hands we can get." One by one, people stepped forward, and soon, the circle expanded as they welcomed more strangers into their efforts. There was a profound beauty in the way the community knitted itself together, strangers becoming friends, hands digging, planting, and watering. But in the back of Sarah's mind, the initial worry lingered like a shadow. Could this harmony last? Would the connection forged in those moments go beyond mere planting? As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, she cast a cautious glance at her father. The wrinkles of concern still clung to his forehead, but perhaps there was something different now. A flicker of realization? Was he beginning to see? Just then a voice broke through the doubt. "This is incredible. What else can we do?" Sarah's smile widened. "We can keep building. This garden can become a sanctuary, a place for everyone." Her father's eyes rounded with surprise. "A sanctuary?" "Yes," Jake chimed in, caught up in the moment, "where we can all share stories and laughter, maybe even food. We can unite this community through our garden." Suddenly, the vision sparkled in Sarah's mind. A place of connection woven into the very fabric of their town. Could happen. But just as hope ignited, doubt lingered at the edges undeterred. What if this dream fell flat? What if the seeds of connection couldn't take root like they hoped? She looked to her father once more, ready to press forward. Yet deep down a voice whispered. Was the fragile thread of hope enough to hold them together? And would they be able to nurture not just the garden but the relationships intertwined within it? As the sun cast the first warm rays of dawn over Riverdale, an unmistakable sense of excitement stirred in the air. Sarah and Jake arrived early, their hearts brimming with anticipation. Today was the big day, a community event at the garden they had poured their souls into. Together they had overcome doubts, battled prejudice, and rallied their community around a shared vision of hope. "Are you ready for this?" Jake asked, a blend of pride and nervous energy evident in his voice. "Ready as I'll ever be," Sarah replied, a radiant smile lighting up her face. "We can do this." They stood side by side, gazing at the rows of flowering plants they had nurtured. In just a few short weeks, the garden had transformed from a barren lot into a blossoming wonder filled with life, laughter, and a sense of community. A symbol of what could be achieved when people come together. As local families began to arrive, the atmosphere pulsed with excitement. Children dashed towards the vibrant blossoms, laughter ringing through the air like a sweet melody. Neighbors exchanged stories, their voices mingling in a joyful commotion. It was the kind of scene Jake had always dreamed of, a tapestry of connection woven with hope. Minutes before the festivities began, Sarah spotted her father glancing around the site, a mixture of concern and curiosity etched on his expression. With a determined heart, she made her way toward him. Jake, sensing her intention, quietly followed, his support a comforting presence. "Dad," Sarah began, her voice steady, her heart racing. "I wanted to show you what we've built together. This is more than just flowers. It's a community. Mr. Lawson hesitated, crossing his arms as if preparing for a debate. You really believe this will bring people together? Yes. Look around. She gestured to the gathering crowd. These people, they're here to connect, to share, to celebrate. You can see the joy in their faces. This garden is helping them feel seen and valued. Jake stepped forward, emboldened. Mr. Lawson, this garden is about more than that. It's about creating a sanctuary, a place where stories can be shared and bonds can be formed. Together we can make a difference. For a moment the older man remained silent, lost in thought as he watched the children gleefully pick flowers and the conversation swelling around them. Slowly a hint of warmth crossed his face, but he quickly masked it with a furrowed brow. Your heart's south in the right place, but this is a significant risk, he said, a hint of softness creeping into his voice. Risks can lead to great rewards, Jake replied gently. Every blooming flower in this garden is a testament to that. Sarah's breath caught in her throat, hope flickering at the edges of her heart. Would her father finally begin to understand? Dad, we're inviting everyone in. This garden isn't just ours. It's the community's. Her voice surged with heartfelt determination. Please give it a chance. Just open your mind. In that moment, her father's defenses began to crack. He had always cared for his daughter, but had success and reputation overshadowed his ability to embrace change? With a slow exhale, he stepped closer to the blooming flowers, his arms loosening their hold. All right, Mr. Lawson finally said, his voice quieter now, almost contemplative. Let us see what this gardening thing can do. A spark ignited in Sarah's chest. Thank you, she whispered, her eyes glistening with gratitude. Before long, the first event of the day commenced, with Sarah welcoming everyone as her father watched, tentatively proud. Welcome to our community garden, she announced, her voice ringing with warmth. Today we're here to work together, to build connections, and to see the love that can grow when we plant our hearts together. Cheers erupted from the crowd, and the energy shifted into something electric, the laughter and joy intertwining like the roots of the plants. Jake felt alive. This was what they dreamed of, a true gathering. As the morning unfolded, they set to work. Groups formed, children giggling, adults sharing stories while planting flowers side by side. Mr. Lawson stood among them, slowly exchanging hesitant smiles with those around him. The initial weight of his skepticism began to dissipate like the morning mist. Later that afternoon, with the sun hanging low in the sky, Sarah found her father near the blossoming sunflowers, where kids were chasing butterflies. Do you see this? He asked softly, watching the scene unfold. Yes, she said, her heart swelling. This is what we envisioned. They're united, he admitted, his voice cracking slightly. You've built something worthwhile, Sarah. Tears filled her eyes. And we couldn't have done it without you, Dad. Together we can help this garden grow strong. As the sun dipped into the horizon, casting a golden hue over the garden, the echoes of laughter mingled with the rustling leaves, a symphony of transformation. In that moment of unity, hope bloomed brighter than ever before. Standing side by side, Sarah and Jake exchanged glances, their hearts racing with the knowledge that they had fought through obstacles, and their bond had strengthened along the way. They had done it together. And as darkness settled in, illuminating the garden with twinkling lights, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of joy wash over her. This was not the end. It was just the beginning. Their dream had taken root, and they were ready to grow. With a final surge of celebration, they joined hands with those around them, ready to nurture not just a garden but a whole community. Now let us inspire others with this journey. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us keep this emotional wave rolling. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.